In the episode called Idle Curiosity, the crack caused by the cursed idol chases Sniffles, causing him to barricade the door of the museum. And on the left side, you can see a statue that resembles Cub. In the episode called Easy for You to Slay, after Lifty and Shifty runs away from the evil Flippy, Shifty spots a valuable candle holder in the bear trap. He then successfully puts a bag of sand immediately after removing the candle holder without triggering the bear trap, but stupidly goes back for the bag of sand, causing the trap to chop off his lower arm. This is a reference to the idol scene in Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. On Nutty's Collect Them All card, it says that he has rabies, which is strange because we don't really see any major signs of this in any episode. But it's possible that he had it in his first episode, Nothing Wrong with Candy, due to him foaming at the mouth. And he also seems to be foaming at the mouth when he's in the bed in the game an episode called False Alarm. Additionally, he can also be seen foaming at the mouth on this promotional art. In the episode called Chill Kringle, you can see Mom's home, which is a tent. And then in Easy for You to Slay, you can see another tent that is his home, and inside it looks like a normal room, but looks empty. But apparently it's not, because he can be seen interacting with different items, and we can even hear what he is doing. And a similar content appears in Monster 5, and had a different interior to the one in Easy for You to Slay. In the episode called And the Kitchen Sink, Cub becomes dirty and Pop puts him in the sink and turns on the hot water tap, and then goes to answer the phone. After a while, he smells something that smells like a tasty hot dog, but then realizes that it must be the smell of Cub being scolded. A similar thing happens in the comic called Rubber Dub Dub. Russell has gone crazy twice in the show, once when he is swallowed by a whale and accidentally kills Lumpy, and the other time is after he sees Flaky die to an orca. What if Russell has had a bad experience with live marine animals in the past? And maybe one bit off his lower legs, one hand, and maybe his eye was pulled out too. But when he goes crazy, he is having a flashback of his fear of it happening again. In Nutty's Party Smoochie, Nutty gets a yo-yo. He then plays with it until it hits him in the mouth. He then throws it, and if you pause at the right moment, you can see Nutty looking like this.
Oh,
In the episode called Oh Christmas Tree, Cuddles, Giggles, Toothy and Lumpy are outside the door and start to sing Oh Christmas Tree. The singing can also be heard in the episode called No Time Like the Present. At the beginning of the storyboard for Once Upon a Time, Giggles is wearing something that looks like a headscarf or a hood. Maybe she's going to look like Little Red Riding Hood, which would make sense because this episode is supposed to be like a fairy tale. But it was removed in the finished episode and replaced with her damaged bow. In Toothy's Easter Smoochie, one of the eggs that he picks up cracks open and a green snake comes out.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
It then squeezes him to death and makes his eyes pop out. Another green snake can be seen in From A to Z Part 1, where it swallows Petunia, and in Part 2 it swallows Lumpy, where he escapes and survives. But Petunia is not so lucky. A dark green snake with light green markings appears in Junk in the Trunk, which it is one of the pets that Lifty and Shifty stole. An orange cobra appears in Take a Hike, where it bites Toothy, and a purple rattlesnake with diamond-shaped yellow marks appears in Ipso Fatso, after Lumpy enters the diner.